Dad, Daddy, Dad, Dad.
What?
I love you, Dad.
Oh, okay. Love you too.
Welcome back to Relatable Dads Unscripted, figuring out fatherhood one honest conversation at a time. My name's Ruel.
I'm AJ. He forgot his name.
For a little bit, but it's cool. Today we're talking about the fatherhood learning curve. So we're going to be talking about a learning curve of fatherhood. I'm going to let you kick this off. I feel like you've got a story. Personally, I just feel like your whole life is a learning curve.
Yeah, pretty much. From the time I was born, 87, I've just been learning ever since.
I don't know. Maybe this is harsh.
You're going to be a prick. I know what's happening.
I actually just think I feel like you do everything the hard way. I don't know why. I'm not saying that you do anything bad. I just feel like you just do things the hard way sometimes.
I try not to.
I just feel like that's the way it is.
I try not to.
Oh, I think we're going to figure that out. So today we're going to be talking about all the different things we learned the hard way, from changing nappies, bedtime routines, tantrums, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, should we get started?
All right, so
Let's do it.
All right, so my biggest learning curve, was when Sienna
told you.
Kicking it straight off the bat.
Right.
Sienna was born, right? So they was like, oh yeah, we're gonna. Sienna was like, oh. They said to Dan, oh yeah, we're gonna wheel you through to recovery. We'll take the baby with you, and you can spend time with the baby. She was like, no, just send her with the dad.
The dad.
Yeah. So I ended up going in, me, the nurse, and then Sienna wheeled into the ward, and we were sitting there, and the nurse was like, okay, so you need to get her changed now. I was like, okay, cool. So she goes, yeah, you need to get out a baby grow and a vest. Right. I thought it was one and the same thing, innit? Because Dan packed the baby bag. So I was thinking, all right, I'm hoping now, there's going to be a label that says
literally baby grow.
Honestly. Right, so I'm digging through the baby bag, and I've just pulled out this one item. She's like, yeah, that's the baby grow. I was like, cool, so don't look like that. So I'm going in the baby bag again. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to pick this thing out. So I was like, pick this actually. Yeah, that's the vest. So I was like, all right, cool, I've got this. So I've already changed it. I've put on a nappy before, but never to a brand new baby. They're so fucking small. Yeah. And you're just so scared you're going to break them.
And
as well.
Bony, aren't they? They're just little twigs out hanging out.
And I'm like, because they're so fragile and frail. You think that you're going to break them if you pick them up too hard. I'm quite a strong guy, isn't it? So I'm thinking, I'm going to break this little thing. So picked her up, put the nappy on her, done it all up. And then so I put the vest on, then the baby grow. And then she's like, okay, perfect. Honestly, because you just feel like you're being judged straight away.
I know that feeling, innit? Yeah. Especially from the nurse, because they're like, oh, this stupid.
Yeah, this guy ain't got a fucking clue what he's doing. So I'm like, I got her changed, and they're like, okay, you have to feed her and everything else. So got the bottle out, fed her, and it's so nuts because it's the first time she's had a bottle, first time she's fed.
So you did all that first?
Yeah, I was the first person to do everything, and I was like, and obviously she's about half an hour born, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing all this stuff for her. And then the nurse left, and literally I'm holding her like this, and I'm like, fuck, not like that, more like that.
It's like a liquid. It's hanging down.
It's fucking her upside down. So I'm holding her, and I'm feeding her, and I'm like, fuck, I've got this little being now to look after. And I think it dawned on me then that my life changed. It was crazy.
It's an instant thing of this. When you look at I don't know, maybe it's with a daughter as well. You look at her, maybe it's just because that was our first, essentially, but you look at a daughter and you're like, shit, my whole life is different. Yeah. That's the way you look at the world, the way you even look at other women. Yeah. Suddenly it's different.
I'm joking.
It's true though, isn't it? You're like, oh no, now I can't be that guy that was.
Honestly.
I've got a daughter to look up to, that's going to look up to me. But 100%, everything changes in that one moment. But I think that's one of them scary moments. I think when Jada was first born, it feels like such a long time. Jada's 15, nearly 16. So it's a long time ago to remember when I first put a nappy on her. But I just remember them being exactly like you said. We're not so precious, so fragile. And as a man, we're rugged. Me and you both rugged. We have a bit of a rugged life. We used to throwing things around, play fighting with people and stuff like that. But you've got this little thing in your hand, and you're like, oh God, and you think you can almost just crush it. And it's you've got to, every movement you do. I think we were probably more gentle. Do you find that you was more gentle than your missus was? Like, I found like Nicola used to just be like, yeah.
I think that
after a while,
you realise that they're actually not as fragile as you first think, and you can drop them.
You can drop them and
it bounces back up. It's
just
crazy,
like that ball you had. It's like doing.
So yeah, but like you realise, I think it took like probably maybe a week that you like end up being more kind of rough with them. But I remember, so I was like, it was our thing because I used to work. I only had like a week's paternity leave as well because I just started a new job. So I remember the first like week, obviously she came home. I had to do a lot of stuff with Dan because Dan had a C-section.
Right. Yeah.
And like that first week, I was the first person to bath her.
Yeah.
Like
that's cool.
Honestly, but that was for me. I was like, I want to do all the first for her. I think Dan struggled to bond with her because I wanted to do so much for Sienna.
Yeah.
So I think I took over quite a lot with Sienna. I let Dan do all the night feeds though.
Oh, really? I did. So obviously, with
that was from like me being a prayer. Like, I will work, so I'm
going to sleep.
Yeah.
I did so many night feeds, particularly from when, because obviously she was mine were breastfed for a long period of time, or very longer. Then it got shorter and shorter each child. But generally, I was from when bottle fed. It was like, I did a lot of night feeds, most of the night feeds, because I don't really sleep all that much anyway. So I was just like, I did night feeds.
I think that was probably why it was nice as well, because I've heard a lot of dads saying they struggle to bond with their kid because their missus done breastfeeding.
Yeah.
But where with all three of them, Dan's bottle fed all of them.
So it gave you the opportunity.
Yeah, so it gave me the opportunity to do all the stuff for Sienna and grow that, because you do. It sounds weird, but you grow bonding by feeding them. As like
100%.
So when your woman's breastfeeding, like they have that natural smell about them. They can sense when their mum's around because they know that's food and everything else. So I think like where she was bottle fed, she never had that kind of connection or bond with Dan as such.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because I know not until now I've not really thought about it, but I mean I do remember Nicholas saying like, you can feed her and stuff to help that bonding situation. I never really felt like I didn't bond with her or anything like that, but so I was pretty hands on. But yeah, it's true. Like that whole point when you've had the opportunity straight away to get in. I mean, I remember when all of them come out. Obviously, they go straight onto mum, and then like within minutes later, other than Corey because he decided to not breathe for a while, it's a pain in the ass. But anyway, the others all just kind of went straight onto me, and I just sat with like what they call skin to skin or whatever, and just laid on my chest and that. Absolutely loved it, and it was just like that was a bonding moment. I think they do that a lot now to help dads bond with their kids because I think a lot, and that's maybe something that's changed. Maybe that's even part of the reason why dads are bonding more with their kids, because maybe the nurses are physically doing that. They're like, dad have some time with them, so therefore maybe that also changes how parenting is later on. Maybe that is a big part of it.
Scientifically, I think this is actually a fact, but don't like comment check me.
Never do that.
But like apparently that kids are meant to look like their dad genetically.
Oh yeah, I've heard this.
Because in the wild, like back in the day, like in the wild, obviously there was no DNA test. So if their dad didn't feel like the kid looked like him, then he'd kill him.
Yeah.
Because he was like, it's a threat to the pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
A threat to his like colony.
I've heard this.
Yeah. So like genetically, when we look down at a child, it's so we can instantly get that bond. And
also like a representation of what the family. Yeah. No, I've heard that too. Yeah.
Oh, sounds so it wasn't just me.
It's definitely true if I've heard it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to chatting shit. But like, hopefully someone in the comments will be like, yeah, that is actually true.
Or no, someone's going to come back and actually
that's not true.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Whatever. It's cool.
Karen, fuck off.
Right, well, let's talk about sleep routines. What did you learn the hard way with sleep routines? I think I want to kick this one off.
Go for it, bro.
So I'll tell you why I'm going to kick this one off, right? Because I've got a real gripe with this one, right? My daughter was flipping awful. Horrible, like the worst baby to sleep ever. Jada, but maybe it was partly because we were young parents anyway. I mean, I was 23 when Jada was born, and honestly, this child did not sleep for at least 6 months, mate. It was like the worst.
Only slept when you wanted to sleep.
No, only slept when you like cuddled her, like, or she was. This is what you had to do to get her to sleep. Right, she had a Moses basket thing. Well, I don't know, wait, actually, it was a travel thing, but she'd only sleep in this thing, right? You have to hold it in like a basket, right? And no, some kids like a little bit of rock like this. No, not Jada, because she's a pain in the flipping ass, right? You have to flip and do this, bruv. I'm not even joking. I never even had guns until she was born. I'd be like this. And I remember like swinging her between my legs, but she needed to be swung like really vigorously to stop her from like moaning all the time. And I never forget, I'll be sleeping and then you hit, and you're like, pick up, start yeeting around. But mate, honestly, the bedtimes, I think for her, then when my boys were born, we call Corey Snorri. Because Corey is like, dude, wake up. You're never sure if he's in a life.
Well, it came around the other day and he was asleep until whatever time. My kids don't know about lay-ins.
Bro, my two boys could sleep all day.
No.
Jada is up all night. Still now, she loves to. We had a party the other night where she was up until like 5 a.m. I was up till, mate, honestly, bro, like, she never sleeps. She just, I don't know, she's a bit, I suppose, a bit like me. But I'll never forget with her, she used to climb out of the bed all the time. So she'd be able to climb out of the bed. And we'll talk about that later. The tantrums.
You fucking trained her to do this shit. It's your own fault.
I've got a story. When we come on to tantrums, I'll give you another story about her climbing out of the bed. But she used to climb out of the bed. She never slept. And the other two were just sound. And I don't know if it's down to us as parents because we'd learned a little bit like we're not taking this crap anymore. Yeah. Or whether it was down to the fact that she was just a nightmare child. I'm going with nightmare child because she's just a pain in the ass. But yeah, so sleep routines. I remember I lived by Super Nanny. Bro, I'd be like 4 a.m, right? I'd be like half asleep, half dead, like thinking, what can I do to get this child to sleep? Searching Super Nanny, baby routines at like, from like, I don't know.
See, I didn't listen to none of that shit, man.
I'm gonna lie, it actually helped, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah, it actually definitely did. I was on it all the time.
I'm always, I'm inherently lazy, I'm going to say.
Yeah, fair. I can see that.
But wow. I just think, what you start off with is basically building rods for your own back, innit? So
yeah.
When I first came into when Sienna was first born in that, I was like, Dan is one of them ones where baby will cry. Dan's like running over.
Yeah.
You okay? I was like, if you go over, you're going to have to go over every time.
Yeah.
Because she's going to cry because she thinks you're going to come.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's fed, she's clean.
So what you're saying is just abandon your child.
Pretty much, bro. Like, no, I swear to God. Like, you can ask Dan. Out of all 3 kids, Sienna was the easiest child. Because I was just like, if you go up to her, like, so we put her to bed. And I'd be like, all right, bedtime. So she's all good. Put her to bed. Mm-hmm. And then, like, she just was bored or, like, lonely in the room.
Yeah.
So she'd start crying.
Yeah, yeah.
So Dan would go up. She'd come back down. Dan would go up. She'd come back down.
I find
moms
tend to do that more, generally.
But I was like, babe, if you keep going up to her, she's just going to cry because she knows you're going to come back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was like, just leave her. She's fed. She's clean.
Yeah, she doesn't need nothing else.
She's fine. Mm-hmm. She's safe. She's locked within her confines of her cot. And she's okay. Jada. Well, yeah, I didn't train her to do that shit. I was like, no, you stay there. So I was like, there's no reason for you to go up there. It got to a point, Sienna was crying. And Dan was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. She had to leave the house, bro. Yeah. I was like, I'm fine, innit? I'll just sit here and watch TV. I'll put the TV on. I'm good. Because I knew she was fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I think we had like a camera there anyway.
Yeah,
so I could see that she was okay. It was just, she was lonely and bored.
Well, on another note, just to come sidetrack off that point, remember what you were going to say? Well, those cameras, they don't freak you out when they're just screaming and looking at the camera. That's like a horror film on itself, isn't it? You look at them in black and white and they've got like white eyes or
mate,
black eyes.
Yeah.
It's freaky, isn't it? You look at them like, dude, are you sure she's fine? Sorry, anyway, carry on.
So it happened like, I said to her, kids' routines change so quickly. So do it for like 2-3 nights and I'm telling you, it'll be fine. So she trusted me. She left the house. Sienna settled herself down, stopped crying. She was good.
Yeah.
Happened, I think, like 2, maybe 3 nights. Bro, I'm telling you now, Sienna was the best one.
Yeah, because you broke the cycle early.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, like, you put her to bed. And this is another thing as well. I hate kids with dummies.
Yeah.
So I was very strict on, listen, the dummy stays in your cot. So you come out of the bed, the dummy stays there.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's all good. So Sienna used to split her dummy out, cut them out of her cot. But then literally, as soon as you put her in the cot, she'd reach for a dummy. Bam. Just get it sweet. And I
So
was like,
you created a good routine.
yeah.
To be honest, that's what the super nanny used to say. Like, leave, all that stuff you're saying is like, I remember doing that, like just sitting outside the door. But again, it was like Nicola would be like, I think when the baby cries, women get like, or I think with their boobs even go hard and stuff like that. They get it's not just an emotional response.
So
it's like a
crying baby around done.
just start getting impulsive.
She's making the fuck up.
This podcast is going to cut real fast. But yeah, I think they have like an emotional response to it. And so I think they struggle with when they hear them crying and stuff. Whereas for us, we don't really have that kind of thing with them. So I think as men, it's a little bit different. We can switch off from it a bit more. I certainly feel like that was the same situation. But I remember sitting outside the door and Super Nanny used to say like, because it depends on the different ages anyway, but I used to have to turn my back to Jada. And she'd be in the cot, and I just said she knew I was in the room, so she knew I was safe, and then she'd just turn my back to her. So I wouldn't say nothing to her, just have my back to her. And you're supposed to just sort of sit like a flipping ape.
I ain't doing that, bro.
Well, I tell her that because it was only otherwise if I weren't in the room, Nicola would more panic. So I was like, okay, so I'll sit here, and also because Jada used to climb out the thing, so she was more worried that Jada was just going to climb out the cot. And we had that thing down to the bottom, and, done all the different things. So. And mate, the amount of times it would just be like that on your shoulder, and you're like, no. And then you're not supposed to speak. You just go, put her back in the cot, boom, and don't say nothing. Turn your back on her again. You have to do it like 50 times. But exactly the same as you were saying. Once you've done it for like 3-4 nights, you break the cycle. And once you've done something for 3 weeks or something, it becomes a routine. So that's, I mean, if any dads are struggling right now with that situation. You just got to fight it out for 3 weeks.
Just leave them.
3 weeks of just battling it out with them. They're going to battle it out, and then after 3 weeks, it's sweet.
But that's the thing. This is what I was saying with like kids' routines. They learn stuff so quickly, and their routines can change within like 2 to 3 days. So as soon as you break that cycle, 2-3 days later, they don't even remember. They've got memories like goldfish. So they don't really remember what they were used to know that that's the new change and that's the new norm. So,
just becomes then.
I personally think.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2-3 days before this.
We just quickly caveat, this ain't like a learning how to or not to and what.
Definitely not.
Because I told someone about the pod the other day, and he was just like, I need all the help I can get. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not still learning, innit? And he had 5 kids.
What?
Yeah, like one was like.
Bro's a pro.
20 odd, one was like 4. So, like, that was the age range. And I was like, bro, like, I should be taking lessons from you. I think that's the thing. We're all just learning and
I think it's the key thing is to understand that it's hence why it's called the Fatherhood learning curve. It is a learning curve. So ultimately, you got to wing it ultimately and do what's right for you.
And what's right for your child as well. I hate when...
Yeah, because all kids are different as well. Yeah, you get some, like say, Corey was just a good sleeper. But again, we changed our ways as well. But in the same breath, different kids, different situation, different household. You might have. I remember all of mine when Corey was born. We had 3 kids in what was essentially a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom house. But this second bedroom that all 3 kids were in, I had at one point 2 bunk beds and a mid sleeper, and then there was like no floor space. So that's difficult. When you're trying to get, you've got one that's I don't know how old the differences were in the ages, but you got one that's like I don't know. 8, and then one that's like 5, and then one that's like 2, and you're trying to get them all into the bed. You kind of we used to do like half an hour for the first one to go to sleep, then hopefully that one's asleep in half an hour. That little punk would come in and wake that one up, and then it just becomes absolute being free for all. So it is different, but we're not here telling anyone how to do it. We're just sort of explaining
what we've done, really. Our personal experience,
and it might help. It might help some, but more importantly, what I hope personally to get out of it is if any dads out there go, "Oh shit, yeah, I felt that," that would be that to know that shit's normal. Like, because did you find
being relatable?
Yeah, exactly. Relatable. That's what we're hoping for. No, but do you know when people say to you, "Yeah, man, I really struggled with that," and that. To let other dudes know that it's absolutely fine.
But that's the whole point of this. Is like it's a community where we can all just laugh at our own fuck ups and say what we done which helped us. Yeah, like
I think learning is fuck it. The more you fuck up, the more you learn. There is 100%. In fact, there is no real fuck ups. There's only
learn.
No, what's it called?
Lessons.
That's the one. Clearly, we didn't have any lessons at school. But yeah. All right. Mate. Next one. Tantrums, bro. Wow. What's your experience with tantrums? I'll let you start, but I mean, I've got a horrible tantrum.
I'm trying to think because I know I keep saying Sienna was a good child. I don't ever remember Sienna having a tantrum ever.
Oh, Mr. Perfect.
No. Honestly, like because I think me and Sienna spent so much time together. We kind of just knew each other, so it weren't like and. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely can't remember one time Sienna's had a tantrum. She pisses me off more now. She's 7 than she did when she was.
They say
growing up.
If you had a good baby, well, who's they? But you know, some dude, them people, them say that if you have a good baby, they can sometimes be a worse teenager, and then a better adult.
No, she's 7 and she's already
a teenager.
Like, yeah.
I mean,
I had a full head of hair before I had children.
Bro, your daughter is sassy as hell.
Oh my God.
She is
like,
sassy.
Even in the video, she was like, well, people say I look like my dad because I'm really good looking. And I'm like, yuck.
Where did you get that from?
Yeah, I'm like,
dude.
No, like, honestly.
Bro, how many times I said to you, yeah, well, and you're like, yeah, wow, you know, I'm human, innit? Look at it.
They're human.
They're human. You'd be like, yeah, of course, everyone likes this, man. Look at this.
I'm not that guy.
You were definitely that guy.
Nah, I'm not.
We were talking just before we went on set, right? Before we went on air, whatever you want to call it. We're both like, should we just do the podcast like this? And then I decided
he said that I wasn't. I'm not that kind of guy.
Meanwhile,
boom. Let's get the biceps going.
Yeah,
start doing bicep curls just before.
Pussy.
I know. Well, yours are fucking. That's right. Not everyone else can have. Like, you got a little more adipose tissue around yours, though. I think it's a bit more adipose tissue.
Fuck off! Look at the size of this cunt. I'm gonna get these guns in today.
just do the podcast like this.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm gonna do before every shoot? I'm gonna just
get a few bicep curls going on.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but that's because yours are making mine look small, man. Right, we've gone off
That's
piece.
your own business.
All right, we're gonna.
Right,
I'm gonna do some training.
I need to bring you back in.
Tantrums. So yeah, mate, tantrums. So I'm gonna tell you a funny story about tantrum. Right.
With which child?
Jada, because I feel like all of my bad stories about Jada because she was the worst child. No, but to be fair, no, I've had some later on tantrums. My kids are 15, 13, and 9. So therefore,
you told me about Callan yesterday not wanting to go.
Oh, bruv, because literally they had a really, really late night over the weekend, and because he had to wake up in the morning for school. Bearing in mind, I didn't actually even wake him up. He just woke up early. Then he was screwing at me because he's got to get up. And I'm like, bro, it ain't my fault you got to get up. Bro left his lunch on the side. I told him like 15 times. He said, go away. Don't want to talk to you. Like, bro, like, what the hell?
I
didn't even
wake in front of him.
Huh?
I would have ate it.
Bro, he left his lunch on the side, went to school, and his mum messaged me saying, oh, Callan's not got a lunch. And I was like, no.
That's his own business.
It looks like he has a lunch. It's on the side. I'm going to dash it at him when I see him next. I'm going to get that wrap and just on his face with a wrap.
So, Google accounts? Yeah, blocked.
Yeah, but that's it. He messaged me, she messaged me saying, oh, can you unlock his phone? I was like, I unlocked his phone because she needed to make sure he could call. I just blocked TikTok and all those little things. All the apps were blocked. But anyway, so that's one tantrum anyway. But this particular story, right? So Jada, as I said earlier, she was a climber from the offset. And if you look up my Instagram and things, you'll see like from back in the day when Jada started climbing door frames and stuff like that. But when she was, 18 months old, Jada walked really, really young. And by 18 months, she was younger than that. She was jumping out the cot. No problem really, climbing out the cot. But this time she's having this massive tantrum. And when I say Jada used to have a tantrum, bro, I'm talking like screaming, like angry tantrum, like, ah! She used to sit at the gate, shaking the gate, right? So anyway, we had a stair gate at the top of our stairs. It was slightly to the side. You had this wall there. So again, super nanny, she was like, just sit outside the stair gate. Don't engage with her. So I sat outside the stair gate, right? Jada's having this massive tantrum. I heard, boom. That's her jumping out the cot, right? So I was like, she's out the cot, but I'm leaving her, right? Because she can't go anywhere else. The stair gate's there. My door's shut. She's opened her bedroom door. I'm sitting there. I'm just leaving it at that. She's now screaming at the stair gate. But I'm kind of around the wall. So I'm like, okay, she's screaming, shaking the stair gate. Like the whole thing's going to fall off, right? And next thing I'm just like, just back to her. Like I said, I was like a gorilla, just my back to her. And then next thing I'm like, she's like, I heard, boom. And then she's like, and I looked at me. She's like, round me. I'm like, I'm shocked. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, The stairgate, bro. The stairgate is way higher than her head height, right? It's a big stairgate. Ain't like the cot where it was a bit lower, you know?
Was there a part of you that was like, so fucking proud of you?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, true that. Yeah. Afterwards, didn't it? Like, afterwards, I went downstairs after I was stressed out, innit? But yeah, honestly, turn around, she's just there. And I'm like, what the hell? How did you get... So actually, I literally picked her up and just put her on the other side of the stairgate. And I'm like, I put her there and she starts screaming and she's like, she gets so angry. She like grabbed the bar, I do cat grab position. She's like, climbs up the whole gate, feet on, hands on, and then climbs over again. And she's like, and the thing is, stops crying, stops tantrum, like, ha. And I was like, Nicola, come check this out. Look what she's doing. So I put her over again and she's like, ha, now it's a game, innit? So now it's like, now she cannot be locked in even the stair gates. So there was only one thing I could do to keep her in, right? So I had to baby oil the gate, right? I had to literally get baby oil out, oil up, so when she goes in the cat grab position, she's sliding down so she can't get out the damn gate. So each night now, or every other day, I'm out here squirting baby oil all over fences and stuff.
You should do that.
What?
Coming like a Diddy party, bro. Fuck.
Honest to God, I didn't even think about that. Just
yo, fuck it.
Well, at least we know where it got it from. Maybe Diddy was a climber.
No, that explains a lot, though. They can't get out of the stairgates, innit?
That's why he's putting in bars, putting in so everyone away. Like, no, Diddy, no.
Bro, that's fucked.
Maybe that's what it is. We figured it out. Diddy was a climber. His parents oiled up the gate, and
he wasn't a climber. He was preventing other people from climbing. He's nasty, boy. You're Diddy.
You're saying you're Diddy. Right. Well, anyway, that took a sinister turn. But that was one of my tantrums with Jada, particularly. Like literally, honest to God, babe, I'm literally crying. So yeah, we had to oil up everything.
Oh, we need to. Yeah, go on.
We had to oil up all the gates in the house anyway.
Just do that one. The oil on the top one.
No, bro, it didn't work.
No, but only the cowards.
The cowards. I had to just oil up the whole thing, and every bar too. Because you used to do the thing.
Stop doing the action, bro. I can't stop. Like literally, just stop.
You had to though, because otherwise they
get it. They get it. Okay. You get it, right? You get it. You're
anyway,
in the bars.
So that was one of my tantrums that I deal with. I think it's fun for you to tell yours one.
Oh, so I don't even have any. I think like I'm always one of them ones. Yeah, if we're out or something like that, my mum used to say this one.
Why do I feel like your mum's so much like mine?
Just like, watch when we get home. I do that one. I'm like, watch when we get home, innit? So, you want to try and make me a fool in public?
Yeah.
Cool, innit? I ain't going to say nothing.
Yeah, it's good.
Watch when we get home. But generally, like, on a roll, I try not to shout at them, innit? I'm just more like, I just give them either the look.
Yeah.
And it was funny because Ro's only 3, but he understood the look from like early as well. Like he was doing something at the dining table, and I was like, looked at him, stopped straight away. It was such a proud moment for me, bro.
Yes,
like,
he's learned.
Yeah, like both me and Dan clocked him do it, and then both Roy and I looked at each other, and then she was just like, I was like, yes, I got the look. He's got the look already.
Does Dan work with the look?
Fucking wish.
Can you imagine?
Oh man,
just look at her. Where's my dinner?
Yeah. To be fair, she's actually really good with like patting in the
She's
food
really
and
good.
stuff.
She's really good. The way you said it. Actually, she's a really good girl.
I haven't got to discipline her too much. You know what I mean? Sorry, babe.
To be fair, see that whole thing, my mum, I mean, we talked about the other day. She's like, see, when you kids were young, I just gave you the look. And it's so true. My mum, we'd be at a restaurant and you're like, ha, you're mucking around, your brother and sister, like, ah, and then you just look at mum and she's just looking at you like,
yeah,
okay.
And
then everyone just goes back to just cutting knives and
one thing I hate is when, and Ivy can always attest to this, like, she'll be like, oh yeah, so-and-so's mum lets him do this. Oh yeah, so-and-so's mum lets him do that.
What's your response?
I'm like, am I their parent? I don't give a fuck what other people's mums and dads do. I don't raise you that way, innit?
So true.
Like, literally, like, she don't even mention it now. She'll be like, so And then I look at her. Yeah, and I look at her, I'm like, nothing.
We're going to go down this route?
Yeah, I literally don't care.
You sure you want to ride this train?
Yeah. How other people pick me, get raised, I don't care. Like,
yeah, true that.
I try and do my best for you guys. And that's the thing I always say to them. I try to do my best for you. I don't care what other people, like,
100%.
what other people's parents are doing.
I remember my mum having the same conversation with us. Like, do you remember what your mum would say to you when you say, like, my friend does this?
Yeah.
Like, you just get that look. My mum would be like, well, like, you go live there then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, off you go.
Well, fucking real good. You got PS5.
You know what I mean?
That's
I say that to my kids. I'm like, well, looks like you better go and move in with them then. You know what I mean? I think it's
I
different
always
as well.
them that I'm going to adopt them.
You're going to adopt them? Or
Like,
we'll
just,
put them up for adoption?
Yeah, I'm always like, you're doing my deal, I'm going to put you up for adoption.
I saw this post, right? And this post is this woman. She says she always told her kid, African woman, right? So she told her, she come in, right? She told her kid, right? This is, what do you guys think about this, right? She told her kid that she had an older sibling, but she had to leave the older sibling in Africa because she didn't do what she told to do. So she'll say like, say for example, her daughter didn't tidy up her bedroom. She's like, oh Lord, and, I'm not going to try to.
Go on, please. No. Oh Lord, where was she judged?
I'm not going to try to do an accent, okay? Because I'm not very good at this anyway, right? But she'd tell her, oh yeah, you know, when Burnett used to not tidy her room, bless her, that's why we had to leave her back in Africa.
Oh, allow it.
Wow, can you imagine that? Like the trauma of that child.
But have you seen there's like little meme video things of where a dad would be like going to feed the doll, and then the doll does that with the doll, and then the dad just goes bang bang bang, he's like punching the doll's head in, and then it's like, and then he goes like, and then goes into the doll again, and the doll just eats the thing, and then it goes to the baby, and the baby's like.
You know what? It started. I remember seeing them ages ago with dogs.
Okay.
And it was working with dogs and stuff, but the dog like pulling the carpet or something. But then I saw one recently with the dog with a kid, and his was like,
the kid's shitting himself.
Traumatized.
Yeah, I'll eat anything you give me right now.
What do you feel about that kind of parenting?
It's good.
It's good.
Like,
it's good.
You're not hitting
absolutely freak the crap out of the child.
If you're not hitting the kid, you're just like
showing them what happens if you don't eat.
Yeah. But to be fair, my kids eat all vegetables as well.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, yours are younger, so that might change because, for example,
Callum, that's what's on your plate if you're not eating it.
Yeah, but so Corey used to eat everything and anything, mate. Everything. Never had like and he's now getting to a point where he's a little bit more fussy with certain things. And then Callan used to eat again everything, but now Callan don't eat any fruit. Eat all veg. He'll eat every piece of veg. He'll eat carrots, broccoli, Brussels, all of it. He loves them all. Loves veg. Just doesn't like fruit. He used to eat bananas galore. Do you know what I mean? But now it's more of a texture thing. It's like he's definitely got some sort of ism or ADHD or something there. Anyway, he's definitely dyslexic like his dad. He's got an ism, right? But we haven't diagnosed him, but he's got some problems there, clearly. But it's more things with textures and stuff like that. But he won't eat like certain fruits. But I'm a bit like, I could sit and battle it out with him, but I'm like, but I don't really care. He doesn't eat that many fruit because he eats all his veg. Do you know what I mean? Jada cracks me up, bro. She will eat the inside of a chip, but won't eat the chip. But again, I was like, I don't care if she don't eat chips because I don't really want her to eat chips. Yeah. So I'm like, cool, that's fine. But you feed her a chip, bro. Have you ever seen someone try to eat the inside of a McDonald's chip, bro? There isn't an inside. Exactly, there isn't. My girl would be she doesn't like the crispy part, right? So she'd be taking off. How do you take off the outside of it?
I haven't even got time for that.
That's a long time.
I'm taking like 4 or 5 at a time.
Yeah, exactly. No, Jada just open up chips and eating the inside potato. She likes mashed potato, but she doesn't want a crispy bit on the outside. Like, weirdest thing ever, mate. She's sitting there scraping away roast potatoes. How are you going to scrape the inside of a roast potato?
I love a roast potato.
Mate, absolutely love a roast potato, mate. A bit of seasonal, a bit of basil, a bit of paprika. Oh,
I'm lovely. For it.
Anyway, so yeah, the thing is, when we start talking about food, I'll just go off.
Unscripted.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so I think, what were you talking about? Tantrums.
yeah, tantrums.
But yeah, so there are some of our tantrums anyway. I'd love to hear about some stories of other people.
I know there's some stories out there. I know there is. But also, we want to hear comments about your learning curves and what kind of things that you've experienced as dads, new dads especially, because one of the guests we're going to get on, he doesn't know this yet. My brother-in-law, they've just had a baby.
Oh.
So he's definitely going to be on it.
You know he's going to be on it. He's supposed to fall asleep.
Yeah, like...
Bro's just going to be on the sofa like that.
Yeah.
He's just going to use that as an opportunity
it's
to sleep.
quiet here? I'm going to sleep, safe.
No more about the lights, it's fine.
Yeah,
He's like,
you know what I mean?
it's cool, I can sleep. Bro's got narcolepsy.
Away from this kid now.
Mate, I remember that time, you know, you're literally just surviving. Like, you know, dead sleep. You're like, oh my God. You know, like when there's baby.
But it does give you like a new perspective on, actually, I can actually survive with
no sleep.
Little sleep.
Yeah, I feel like that most weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when the kids have been off on half term. I know, do I look tired? My kids have just been on half term for a whole week, and I had them the whole week for half term. And I'm not going to say they're hard. They're not hard. They're older. You know what I mean? But there's it's not so much looking after them now. It's like you're like
occupying them.
Not even occupying. It's trying to like not go to sleep before them because you're like, because my lot just don't want to sleep. They're like, Dad, can we just stay up and do this? And one of the days we came home from kickboxing on the Tuesday, right? We finished kickboxing at 9. Right? They ain't got school the next day. So I'm like, they're older. I'm a bit like, no, there's no school. We can stay up late. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I like staying up late generally. Watch 2 movies. They're going to watch 2 movies starting at 9. Well, actually starting at 10 because we got home at 9 by the time we done all the stuff. Watch 2 films. Went to bed like 4 in the morning, bro. And I still got work on Wednesday. I don't know why I do it to myself, but...
See, you've seen that picture where it's going around saying, like, when I was a kid, like, I used to hate going to bed at like 9 o'clock. Now I'm an adult. I love going to bed at 9 o'clock.
Bro. If I could get to sleep before like 11, I'd be loving life. I never sleep before.
When I'm on nights, obviously my sleep's all fucked up.
Yeah, it must be difficult.
On if I'm doing days, generally, I like to be in bed by like 9:30, 10. But then me and Dan would be watching something on the TV. We'll say, all right, let's go to bed. And
what,
then,
halfway through watching?
No, like after the thing's done.
I was going to say,
like, let's go to bed. And then for some reason, getting from the sofa to my bed.
Oh, yeah. 6 hours.
I fucking wish.
Bro, we're going to bed at 9. If you're not sleeping until 12, that's cool, bro. Well done. That's a good session.
No, but I'm like, it's just like...
It's a long sofa.
Night admin. And then you're just like...
Night admin? That's what you call it.
No, but like, brush my teeth, make myself a drink, blah, blah, blah.
Night admin.
For some, I don't know how, from my sofa to my bed, takes like 45 minutes. I'm like, I ain't even done nothing.
Yeah?
Bro, I know what you're trying to get at. I wish there was that kind of party.
Can you imagine calling it night admin?
I'm just like, going to bed, innit?
Just servicing my missus. Bit of night admin.
I wish. I wish it took that long as well.
That's less than brushing your teeth. She's brushing her teeth and you're doing your night admin.
Anyway.
Just cracking on with some night admin. Anyway. Oh, mate. Sorry, bro.
Which parenting skills surprise you as strengths? I'll leave this one.
Go on, then.
Saying sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Like, genuinely, I think any of my ex-girlfriends, my mum, any of my family can attest to the fact that apologizing does not come easy to me. Like, I'm always in the right.
I'm not going to lie. I ain't known you that long. I don't think I could ever imagine you apologizing for anything.
Unless I'm very, very sorry, that shit ain't coming from my mouth. Because I always think I'm in the right.
Fair.
But with my kids, and all 3 of them, well, probably not the younger one, but the older 2 will always say, like, if I've told them off for doing something and then I find out they haven't done it, then I'm like, all right, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
And like, or even if I made them feel bad or whatever, like, I genuinely, I recognize my wrongs with them and I'll be like, oh yeah, look, I'm really sorry, blah, blah, blah. Speaking of, so I spoke to Ivy the other day and I had to like kind of go through what we're going to be speaking about and topics and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
to be fair, she's 11. She had we had a really adult conversation about like the fact that obviously I speak about my journey as a step parent to her. I speak about the fact that I did call her dad a prick in the last one. But like I said to her, look, I told her the topic of conversation of what we spoke about to how it came to me saying that.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. And then
that's good because that must be difficult.
Yeah,
I had to speak to mine as well about similar things.
But yeah, so I was like, but I find that, and then with her, I always say to her, look, I know I said to her, look, I'm learning to be a step parent. I'm learning to be a dad. You're learning to be a stepdaughter. So like, if there's anything that you feel that you need to conversate with me about, feel free. Like I'm here to learn from you as much as you are learning from me. And I feel like having those level of conversations, it's like a different way of the different part of who I didn't think I could be. Growing up. So I feel like that for me is a strength which I've learned as a parent.
Yeah, like learning vulnerability.
Yeah, 100%.
I think being vulnerable and being accountable.
But because I like read books about being a dad and stuff like that. Like we're gonna probably talk about the book that I've
been reading at some point. Yeah.
But yeah, there's one that I read called Daily Dad. But like there's like being accountable to your kids. And like I speak to her and there's one bit I said to her, look, sat down with her and I was like, listen, I want to talk to you about something. Like I know that sometimes I'm a bit hard on you, but I'm just trying to be the best I can be for you. And I'm trying to put you in the right path for you to be the best version of yourself. And she's like, no, you're a really good dad. Like, honestly, bro, like when she said it, I was like, oh, she was like, yeah. She was like, you're a really good dad. I know you try your best. And I was like, all right, sick. Like, as long as we're on the same path, she's like, yeah, it's fine.
To be honest, I've had very similar conversations. Obviously, when you talk about this, my mum's a bit like, oh, what are you going to be saying? My kids are a bit like, oh, there's a worry that we might say things that it might make them feel embarrassed and stuff. My kids are a bit more older, so it's like, what you're going to be talking about. They haven't been too worried because they know, there's nothing really crazily that's terrible. But exactly that parenting skill of being able to apologise. I've definitely apologised to my kids plenty of times. And as some people are on here aware, that obviously you're aware that me and my ex split up. And within that split up, there was obviously lots of like moments which were obviously flipping horrible. But I made sure that I had conversations with the kids and held myself accountable for a lot of it. And I said, like, I'm not going to go into details of my divorce essentially, but, within that, I spoke to them and said, look, I have not always been the best person. I've not always been the best partner, husband, whatever. But I've always tried to be the best I could possibly be. And that's the key thing. I think at the end of the day, we are human. And I think we all have to accept that we will make mistakes. We will do things that aren't great and that we're not necessarily proud of as a person. But I definitely think my most important thing is I don't care what everyone else thinks. But I wanted to make sure that my kids understood that there was moments of that, I wasn't a great human. And they're older. That's mostly me, mostly talking to Jada and a little bit to Callum. But just to kind of make sure their understanding is that, dad isn't perfect, but he's trying. And that's the key thing. I think it's okay to fuck up, but it's what you do and what you learn from it. That's the key thing. And if you just keep fucking up over and over again, you're not learning anything. If you can mess up something and go, actually, no, I've learned from this mistake and actually I need to change things and stuff like that. So there's certain situations there that's definitely helped me in talking about those sorts of things. What I now do since our split, I've always kind of, done bedtime stories and routines with the kids anyway. But one thing I've now implemented since we've split is I know there was loads of times when I wanted to have little deep conversations with the kids, but because I got free, it's hard to get that little bit one-to-one time with each of them. So now what we do, my little bedtime routine with the kids is essentially with Corey, I'll read him stories, get in his bed, little chat with him. How's your day? Like positive stuff. How's your day? Have you had a good week or whatever? And I have like a little conversation with him and he absolutely loves it. We read a story pretty much every night that he's here, other than the weekend because he's probably going to bed later than me. No, he's not. I'm not that bad. But yeah, so we read stories and stuff like that. And actually my new partner actually reads to him as well, which is actually really nice. So that's what we do every night, and we just kind of have a little chat with him, and he goes to sleep, and he's sound. With Callan, I'll go up, so you have to climb up into, he's got like a second floor in his bedroom, climb up into his second floor. And then I'm sitting there and I talk to him, and if he's got any problems at school or, anything, if he's got an issue with me or, if there's, we sort it out that night, and we do that most nights. And it's a good opportunity for him to have his bit of one-to-one time with his dad, and tell me his problems. And I do that with all three of them. So I go round, which is why I don't get to bed till like God knows what time at night. Because,
so you're night admin?
Bro, that's my night admin.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
admin.
night admin. So literally Corey's bedtime is 7:30. So I'll be chatting to him till 7:45, something like that. Then the next one, Callan's bedtime is at 9:15. So I go into his bed and we're chatting until like 9:30, that sort of time. And then by the time I get to Jada, sometimes I'm so tired. And Jada will go, Dad, you haven't come and spent the time with me. I'm like, but she takes so long. Like she's
a female, bro.
Not even that. She wants Jada, I said to you earlier, she doesn't like sleeping anyway. She sleeps so flipping late, bro. And I mean, literally, what is it? Sunday night, bro. Sunday night. Bearing in mind, I said to you, Saturday night, we stayed up till 5:30 in the morning. It was 5:30 in the morning. I went to bed 6 o'clock-ish, and we were up by 7:30. So I had like an hour sleep Saturday night. Sunday, I was literally dying, like on my legs, just dying. I still didn't go to bed till 1 o'clock in the morning chatting to Jada. We were talking about everything, bro. Like literally everything.
Yeah, I know.
From some real deep stuff. I mean, but we've got such a good relationship like that.
Yeah, like this is why I said like he's an inspiration with his relationship with Jada, and watching him grow as a parent with Jada. Like I always take my hat off to you. I'm going out now, but yeah, like, I always take my hat off to you, and that's why I always like. I think that you're the perfect fucking dance partner for this, because like I looked at you as inspiration, and we're in another topic point. We'll talk about the conversation that he had with her.
Yeah.
And it's like, literally, I've obviously got 11-7.
Yeah.
So that coming up, that conversation,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
We talk about some like stuff that you wouldn't expect a dad and a daughter to have that conversation.
So fucking good,
she's open with me.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Do you know what? It's so good. Like to be able to just have a proper honest conversation with your daughter. And it's your relationship, again, that's like learning curve. How you are as a parent depends on where your kids are as well. And you have different stages in their life, and you have to, so there is no like blueprint. It literally is like it changes and molds throughout. So yeah, but yeah, it's an emotional flipping roller coaster.
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah. So that's
all right, I got some stories.
Oh God.
I went on Reddit and just found a couple of stories about different embarrassing dad moments which they've taken, and he doesn't know what I'm going to say, but I wanted to kind of see.
He likes to bring these stories to me,
just to throw a little spice in there. You know what I mean?
A little spicy.
And this one, I can see you doing this one, you know. So my brother and this is Callan and Corey in years to come.
Okay, fine.
My brother and I were reminiscing on our childhood not too long ago, and came to an agreement that our dad is always and has been quite the character. When we were young, he kept airsoft guns next to his recliner, and when we were coming to Liverpool, he would shoot them at us, and we'd have to dive behind furniture to dodge them. Then he would make us pick up all the bullets. I was like, 100%. He also had this little bell next to him and made it into a game where he would ring it. We'd have to get something for him. It took us far too long to realise he was doing it because he was too lazy to get up himself. Eventually, as we got older, we just started ignoring the bell. I wonder if it's still there. I was like, that exactly sounds like Ruel.
To be honest, the bell thing reminds me of my mum, because she used to be like, Ruel, I've got something to tell you. And then we come all the way downstairs from playing our game because we're so excited. She's like, make us a cup of tea. And I'm like, so now he's like, she'll be like, Ruel, we've got something to tell you. He's like, no, you ain't. I don't want to make a cup of tea. But and the airsoft thing, like literally, I mean, Corey's got this Nerf thing, man. It's like my mum boyfriend, I think. And it's got like a whole belt of Nerf guns. I love it, mate.
I remember when you had your party here, and then Ro was just fucking walking around with it. And I was like, do not let him have any bullets, because he will shoot everyone.
That's annihilating.
Like,
exactly.
Don't let him.
Love it.
But yeah, so I think sometimes I'll be sitting there and be like, Ivy, she'll be upstairs. And then I'll be like, come here. And then she'll come down, I'll be like, love you. She'll be like, ugh. And then go back upstairs.
But then she says, I love you too. Does she not?
No.
She's fuming.
No, sometimes. No, she don't actually.
Corey would.
I'm gonna call her.
Corey and Callum would. That's because she's a girl. Girls are just like the boys
To
are
be fair,
like.
Sienna's quite loving. Ro would just be like, Ro's quite loving sometimes.
Yeah, he's a boy. He's like all or nothing. Yeah.
So this one, I think a lot of dads can relate to. My little boy picked up my phone and I punched him in the face. Accidentally, that is. I went to grab my phone before he dropped it, and at the same time, he decided to run forwards to hand it to me. I took him clean off his feet. He found it hilarious, but I felt bad.
Accidents happen, isn't it?
Yeah. So many
How many
times
times have you bust your child up by accident? Just like,
the social are going to be calling us, boy.
wipe out. You know, a funny story, right? This is completely right. My sister, when my niece was first born, my sister was like, "Oh, can you?" My sister's husband at the time, he was like, "Oh, get us a sweet. Can I have a sweet?" Sort of thing. So he was holding the baby, so I didn't think about it. I just threw a sweet, and it just went bap in my niece's forehead, bro. This is like days old. She's like days old. Everyone's like, "Wow,
that's why she got that done." Talking of changing nappies, my goddaughter will be able to, like, she won't know, obviously, but her mum will probably comment. I put the nappy on the wrong way around. So she came home, I was like looking after her, and I put the nappy on the wrong way around. And she came home, she was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I thought it was the right way." But obviously, I don't even know how I managed to do it.
Because that's got to be harder, bro.
I literally don't know how I managed.
This is what I said at the start. You do shit the hard way.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed to put it on the wrong way, but I know I did. And then, Eloise, I know you're going to comment and be like, "Yeah, you're a dick." So that's what happened. That's how I learned how to do nappies. So,
but the hard way, again.
That's
exactly what I said.
Changing boys and changing girls is so different.
Oh, yes.
Like,
yeah. Well, because we both started with girls.
Yeah.
And then you get a boy.
Oh, mate.
And it's harder.
Wiping around
more
their
there.
dick and especially the shitty ones as well.
I know. And you're having to hold the little
it's
like
horrible.
Hold another, and you've never held another dude's penis before.
Oh, mate. Wrong, innit? But and then when you first pull it down, and then they just fucking piss straight away, and you're like straight back over,
and it just goes all over them instead.
Yeah.
So that's your problem, bro.
that. Or those ones where you can hear it. You'll be out or whatever, and you just hear.
Yeah, or you hear that grumble first in the stomach.
Oh, mate. And then next thing you know, you turn them over and there's shit all up their back.
And it's yellow. Yellow, bro. Why is it yellow? It's coma, innit? All up the back. You get it's on the back of their neck. It's like, how you get it up there?
It's like, that is disgusting, bro.
It's a long way away.
Yeah, and then you have to bath them. There's no other way. Or if you're out,
if you're out, long. When you go into the cubicles, from say for example you're up the city. I mean, I don't know if you had any experiences of that, but when you go into those places, I remember going into one. You've got flipping 50 women in there, and you're like, there's no men in there, especially. And you saw then it was a communal one. I don't know what it's like now, but you go in there and it was this table in the middle, and just babies with their asses everywhere, and you're working in there. There's one woman breastfeeding. You're like, okay, just don't feel like I should be in here. You know what I mean? And there's always kids crying. There's nappies everywhere. It stinks. Kids crying. Horrible experience.
Yeah.
I think now it's different though, because I think now you've got men's changers. So back in the day, it was much more it was just women that changed nappies, clearly, because there was no men ever. There was no men's toilet to change nappies.
Thankfully, though, some of them are still like that. So,
thankfully,
no, because Ro's now free, so I don't really bother him.
Yeah.
But when he was in nappies, I'd be like, the men's toilet's disgusting, babe. I can't take him there to get changed. So you have to take. So, had that one on.
Oh, okay. I see you saying, don't want to go in here, babe. It's disgusting in here.
Horrible, babe.
Actually, it's a beautiful gold-based toilet, but you're like, that's terrible in there.
It stinks so bad. Honestly, I can't change him in there because it's so unhygienic. So you're going to have to... It stinks.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah. All right. Last story. Good way to start the day. I can see you doing this one as well, actually.
All right.
I cut myself shaving on my neck pretty badly. So naturally, I run into my 6-year-old's daughter's room and shriek, "The vampires are coming!" Cue her screaming and trying to hide under the bed and bonking, scraping her head on the bed frame. Now we both have matching band-aids and the missus is giving me that look. I can see you doing
so
that.
True.
Yeah.
You know how times my kids got hurt because we were play fighting or doing something, and my ex would be like, see, I told you not to do that. See, I told you not to do that. She wouldn't even tell me not to do it, but we'd be like play fighting around. I'd be like yeeting him around. I hit him, throw him into the wall or something. He'd bust his head. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I threw him too hard. But I think it's a learning thing, isn't it?
I think Nick and Dan having a conversation, they'd be like,
they're going to start their own podcast.
Yeah, like I don't think I ever had 3 children. I always had 4.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
100.
Because well,
you see what I'm like normally.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I could, fucking pirouetting in the kitchen and all sorts, bro. You're fucking weird.
I'm a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie.
But so as you said earlier, drop a comment about your relatable dad stories and learning curve stories.
I've got one more story about hurting.
I was rapping, man.
Sorry, he's rapping, but there's one more funny story, right?
Go on.
It's because I don't have very many memories of my dad. This isn't really a memory of my dad, but I have a memory of it, right?
Yeah,
basically. Oh no, it's not. Right? No, it's cool. It's cool. Okay? It just shows you how good a parent he was, right? So my dad's really blind, and my dad's like throwing me up in the air. I don't really remember it because I was like 1 or something, right? But he's yeeting me in the air, playing around with his son, right? Next thing, he's obviously yeeted me and forgot to catch me or something, right? So if you actually look on one of my eyelids, I can't remember which one. I got a scar on one of them. Yeah, I got a scar there. That's where I hit the corner of the cabinet when my dad didn't bother catching me. He just yeeted me, hit the corner of the cabinet, bust my eye open, and then my mum had to run. I don't know if we didn't have a car then. I don't know what the hell, but she ran to the hospital in it with me in her arms holding my eye.
Ran to the hospital?
We lived in Netherfield.
Where the fuck did you live? In Somalia, bro?
No, we lived in Netherfield. It's the next estate. I didn't grow up in Netherfield, okay? Nothing against Netherfield, but we were there for like a year of our life at the start.
Did she have to pass the well to get the water at the same time? Fucking hell, bro.
Anyway, let's go back to rapping. That's my lovely dad's story.
All right. Today was quite a humorous one. I'm quite happy with how it went.
Yeah, it's been funny.
Yeah.
There's some funny stories there.
So stay tuned for the next episode. Again, airing every Sunday. You happy?
Yeah, thanks again for everyone coming and watching. Obviously, have a look share our podcast would be great if you could share it. We're on Instagram as Relatable Dads Unscripted, #RDU. So yeah, just keep sharing it. If you like what you hear, share it with other people. And hopefully we'll keep doing more. Yeah. Peace.
Dad, are you finished yet? Dad.
Yeah, man, we finished this episode now. Come on, let's go out, kids.